The American dream is dead. Today I'm going to reveal why the American dream is no longer attainable for US citizens as well as immigrants to the United States of America. While the traditional American dream might be that, there is a new American dream, which I'm going to reveal at the end of the video. For so much of modern day's history, the United States of America has been hailed as the country of endless opportunities, attracting millions and millions of immigrants to the US. The United States of America used to be a place where hard work could create all the dreams that people wanted for themselves. People from every corner of the world migrated to the United States in the hope to find a better life in the country. People were lured by the promise of a better life, more prosperity, and endless opportunities. You see, back in the day, the American dream was more than just an idea. It was a powerful force that shaped generations. However, in recent years, cracks have started to show in this long-standing vision. The combination of skyrocketing living costs, widening economic inequality, and deepening social and political divides has led to question whether the United States of America can still provide the traditional American dream. The truth is that once affordable cities have become out of reach for most people these days, wages struggle to keep pace with inflation, and political uncertainty continues to fuel instability across the country. As a result, a growing number of Americans and expatriates are reconsidering their options. They're seeking new opportunities beyond US borders in pursuit of financial freedom and a better quality of life. Let's talk about the economic pressure and diminishing quality of life. The cost of living in the United States of America continues to climb, making financial stability increasingly more difficult for many everyday Americans. While wages have remained largely stagnant, the cost of living has increased disproportionately. Many families are struggling to keep up with the rising costs. Retirees, once able to rely on Social Security for their retirement needs, now have to consider options outside the United States of America, where life is more affordable. Meanwhile, high property taxes, skyrocketing rent, and increasing energy costs are making home ownership a distant dream. $1 million in savings, once considered a very secure nest egg, will likely not cut it any longer for people looking to retire in the coming years and decades. The affordability crisis is particularly severe in major metropolitans across the country. New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Miami are some of the metropolitans that have been affected the most by the recent cost of living crisis. In many of these cities, rent prices have surged by over 50% over the past decade, making life unaffordable for middle-class Americans. In New York, for example, the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment is roughly $3,500. In contrast, Americans living in Latin American cities like Asunción, Paraguay, Medellin, Colombia, or even Mexico City can rent a one-bedroom apartment at a fraction of the cost. But it's not just housing. Everyday essentials such as gasoline, groceries, insurance, dining out have become unaffordable for middle-class Americans, leaving them with no other option than to leave the United States for good. For many, the traditional path to financial security, earning a steady income and saving for the future, and investing in property, now feels out of reach. Let's get real. The middle class is being squeezed from all sides. As a result, a growing number of Americans are reconsidering their options, considering alternate lifestyles, and even looking beyond US borders. Another reason why the American dream is no longer feasible or liked by many everyday Americans is because of America's citizenship-based taxation. And let's not even talk about the filing burdens that come with US citizenship. The United States of America is home to one of the most burdensome and complex tax systems in the entire world. Being one of only 2 countries in the entire world that enforces citizenship-based taxation. This means that regardless of where a U.S. citizen lives, they're still required to file a tax return with the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service. For many Americans, this system creates a serious burden every year. In addition to filing annual tax returns, many must submit a foreign bank account report if they hold more than over $10,000 overseas. Other complex filings, such as FACTA disclosures, can lead to major compliance costs and potential penalties. Many U.S. expats spend thousands and thousands of dollars a year just to comply with all these requirements. One of the biggest challenges that U.S. expats face is double taxation, where they are required to pay taxes to both their host country and the United States of America. While the mechanisms such as the Foreign Earned Income Exclusion, FEIE, are in place to reduce tax burdens for everyday Americans abroad, there are many times and many incidents where the Foreign Earned Income Exclusion does not apply for Americans abroad. Recognizing the challenges this system creates, Donald Trump in 2024 recommended eliminating the citizenship-based taxation for Americans altogether, advocating for a switch to a residency-based taxation system, which would make a lot more sense and would be a lot fairer as well. This would mean that U.S. citizens abroad would be taxed in the countries they reside in only. While Donald Trump has not provided clear policy plans yet, this statement has been made in the previous year. Another reason why the American dream remains a distant memory is because of civil lawsuits in the United States of America and the financial risks that come with living in the United States and running a business onshore. The United States legal system is one of the most complex in the entire world. I think this is undebatable. With millions of civil lawsuits filed every year, many Americans find themselves in very difficult financial situations where they have to hire very expensive attorneys to combat with civil lawsuits filed against them. Americans want to avoid the unpredictability and high costs of a trial. One of the biggest challenges of the United States legal system is that litigation is no longer a tool that's being used for seeking justice. For many, the risk of financial ruin due to a lawsuit is one of the major reasons why Americans are looking to depart the United States altogether. Corruption in the medical and veterinary industries. The U.S. healthcare system is widely regarded as one of the most advanced in the entire world. However, for millions of Americans, accessing this high-quality care comes at an unaffordable cost. The system is plagued by skyrocketing medical expenses, excessive bureaucracy, and of course corporate interests that prioritize profits over patient well-being. Medical insurance premiums have soared in recent years, with many individuals paying over $1,200 per month. Even those with good insurance often face unexpected medical expenses they cannot afford. A simple doctor's visit can cost hundreds of dollars, while emergency treatments, surgeries, and hospital stays can lead to bills in the tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Food quality is another reason why millions of Americans are looking to depart the United States of America for good. Many Americans are growing increasingly concerned about the declining food quality in the United States of America. For those seeking fresh, organic, and sustainably sourced foods, the costs can be a norm. Organic products often cost 50 to 100% more, making it very difficult for the average middle-class American to afford such products. Naturally, millions of Americans reach for cheap, ultra-processed foods. Military alliances and global oversight is also a reason why millions of Americans don't believe the American dream is still possible. Billions and billions of dollars are spent every year on military defense. The United States has long played the role of the global enforcer, maintaining a vast network of alliances, most notably through NATO. While investing heavily in military operations, foreign aid and international security. Year after year, billions of dollars are funneled into defending foreign nations, a fact that many everyday Americans don't agree with. Some of these commitments come at the expense of domestic issues and a lack of border security, where money is badly needed. Now, what is the new American dream, you may ask? The new American dream is to live abroad in a foreign country where the cost of living is affordable. But it isn't just about the quality of life and cost of living. Everyday Americans are seeking a better life abroad, less political polarization, and simply more personal freedom. Countries such as Paraguay, Panama, Argentina, Uruguay, and Mexico offer a lot less government, a higher quality of life, a lower cost of living, and simply more bang for the buck. Americans want more freedom. This is an undeniable fact. Panama and Paraguay are both nations that operate a territorial tax system, where these host nations, should you become a resident of one of these countries, will not tax your foreign-sourced income at all. This system, called the territorial tax system, is usually operated by smaller nations that have great tax incentives and are looking to drive more foreign investment into their region. It is true that countries like Paraguay and Panama are home to much smaller governments. Plus, these countries are relatively politically neutral, making them ideal destinations for Americans looking to escape the big government the United States enforces. Both of these countries, Paraguay and Panama, have relatively relaxed immigration policies, inviting Americans to relocate to their respective countries. You can become a resident of Panama by proving a passive income of just $1,000 a month. It is true that you could live in Panama on just $1,000 a month. However, a slightly higher monthly income is recommended, especially if you want to live in the capital, Panama City. Living in the countryside would be a lot cheaper, and perhaps $1,000 would suffice. Due to the proximity to the mainland, Panama offers a fantastic value proposition to middle-class Americans looking to escape the mess the United States is in. From tropical beaches to hospitable locals, Panama offers something for everyone. Paraguay is a country that allows Americans to immigrate, apply for residency, and eventually become citizens. Paraguay does not have an income requirement. In fact, anyone, any American with a clean criminal record can obtain residency in Paraguay, making Paraguay one of the easiest countries to immigrate to in the 21st century. Paraguay is home to a territorial tax system and some of the most hospitable locals that you will ever meet in your life. While Paraguay is a landlocked country, the South American nation is rich in natural resources, including agricultural goods, food, water, and electricity. The basic necessities of life are not very expensive in Paraguay. Other countries you might want to consider moving to are Argentina and Uruguay. These two countries are probably the most European nations in whole Latin America, having accepted endless European immigrants over the past century. Argentina and Uruguay are some of the best countries to immigrate to. To obtain residency in Argentina and Uruguay, you have to prove an income, a steady income of about $1,500 to $2,000 a month. This is an amount that the average American can probably meet. There are also other visas that you may qualify for, such as residency by company formation or investment in real estate. If you're tired of chasing the unattainable old American dream, it is time to consider your options. If you're interested in relocating to one of the Latin American countries that I addressed over the past minutes, please book a consultation with us today. Nomad Elite would love to help you obtain residency in Paraguay, Panama, Argentina, or Uruguay. Please book a consultation with us today. Go to nomadelite.com. I look forward to talking to you. Thank you so much for watching. I see you on the next video.